one of the most controversial transformations in all of calisthenics.
I thought it was normal, the rate I was going. I was really nervous at first. It can be normal, it's just not many people believe it. I said, screw it, I'm gonna do it. I want to get these skills. I'm not gonna be the first. You guys can stay mad and keep watching because there's gonna be more people like me. Less than a year from now, I'll be doing multis press, I can guarantee you guys.
From barely being able to do pike push-ups, let alone an advanced tuck front lever, to full planche push-ups and full front lever pull-ups in less than 1 year, leading to an outrage from the entire calisthenics community, questioning the validity of such a transformation. In this video, I'm going to be interviewing the man himself, getting the behind-the-scenes information and understanding his approach that allowed him to make such an incredible transformation. Buckle up and make sure you watch the entire video. I promise you, you won't want to miss this. I'm here with Joshua, guys. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh. I am 23, almost 24 now, from Australia. Yeah, I haven't been doing calisthenics for too long. However, a lot of you have seen my progress and we're here to talk about it.
I'm beyond excited. Let's just jump straight into it. Talk to me a little bit about kind of how you viewed calisthenics and kind of what your training looked like prior to reaching out to me.
Yeah, sweet. So it's a funny story. I was just walking by a little gym, outdoor gym on the way home one day, and I spotted some people doing calisthenics. I already knew about calisthenics, what it was prior. I was like, oh, I want to give it a try. And eventually started training with them, but we ended up doing, kid you not, 20 sets of pull-ups until failure, 20 sets of push-ups until failure, and also dips, and then a little bit of random stuff in between. So severely overtraining, and that was maybe 3 to 5 times a week as well. So I was killing my body, not even training the skills, and yet I wanted the skills. So that's kind of what my training looked like before. I did get quite strong with the foundation. That's one thing that it did help with. However, that was not going to last long and was not going to help me achieve my skills in calisthenics.
I had a similar thing, like when I first started calisthenics, more like sets and reps, just failure.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
you get pretty strong from that because like the body has to adapt, you know. It's not going to be the most optimal, of course, but you got to get stronger.
Yeah.
What was the first skill that kind of caught your eye that you were like, I want that?
Handstand push-ups for sure. That same group, some guy came along and said, hey, what are you guys doing? We're just training calisthenics. Oh yeah, I do a bit of that. And he jumped on the floor and started doing those like really well as well. He was pretty strong at them. I was like, shit, I want to do that. Like I was looking at like, what am I doing? Is this doesn't feel like how I'm gonna get to that. So yeah, that's when I kind of started like looking at other things, like started Googling tutorials and all these things. I just kept getting more and more confused. But absolutely my first dream skill was handstand push-ups.
That was mine too. You know, it's like the most easy to digest, like push-ups upside down, right?
Yeah.
Like I want that. Because when you first reached out to me, you couldn't even do a handstand push-up. That was actually funny enough. That was your first goal, I remember.
Yeah.
Getting the handstand push-up. And to think we come this far is still, I can't believe it, you know? Because I remember vividly, it was summer, I believe, right? July.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy seems hungry. You were in the Breathe Divinity Discord, actually.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, man of culture, let's see what he's about. And you told me, you know, your hungriest student has arrived, and I was like, okay, you know, everyone says this, but 10 months later, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
True.
What would you say the biggest issue you were facing was when you reached out to me for coaching? Because I remember when we first started, you were already very familiar with kind of like pike push-ups and kind of advanced tuck front lever. So it seemed like you already starting to learn skills at that point, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So kind of walk me through that time period there.
Yep. After my getting started with calisthenics with that group, as I said before, I started looking at tutorials and things. So that's where I was like, okay, pike push-ups, that's how you get to this next thing. But like every video and every person I was watching was contradicting the last and said, don't do this. One thing you're making wrong with calisthenics. And it was just so overloading and over confusing, you know what I mean? So I was just doing all these random things every day, trying to figure out, what am I doing? Like this person said do this, but that person said do that. I was just getting so confused. So I was getting frustrated. So I was like, I need to find someone that actually knows what they're talking about and work with me. And yeah, I came across your page, and I know you had a different different vibe going on. You seem like you actually knew what you're talking about. Okay, I'm gonna talk to this guy. Of course, I was really nervous at first because there's a lot of guys out there trying to get your money that actually don't know what they're talking about. But you know, I said, screw it, I'm gonna do it. I want to get these skills. I had this like burning sensation in my chest. I wanted to get these things. Like I just needed it. So yeah, I came across here. I was like, please, bro, help me, man.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I was able to come off a different way than some of the other people that you've watched on YouTube, maybe. And
Mm,
I'm glad you took the chance on me, man. Because watching you grow as an athlete and as a person has inspired me a lot to
mm,
improve in other areas of my own life, you know. I mean, recently we've been talking about, like, I've been dealing with an injury and a whole
mm,
host of things, but seeing not only your development but like everyone else's, there's no room to slow down,
mm.
right? You just got to keep
Yeah.
going, going, just keep carrying that momentum. Yeah, man, super grateful that you're my student. And kind of touching on what you said a little bit more about the contradictory information, this is actually
Mhm,
something I can relate to you perfectly with, because when I first started calisthenics, you watch one guy, he says train twice a week for strength skills, do like 3 sets maximum. Another guy says train 7 times a week, go all out, push your body, no pain, no
mm,
gain.
mm,
And so it's like, how do you know who to trust, right?
mm.
And then everyone's selling some program. So of course there's the monetary aspect of things, right? So it's like, do they want my money or do they want to help me? And so when I decided to become a coach, when I felt comfortable that, like, hey, I can replicate my results in others, like, let me actually start charging people for my service, I made a promise that I'd be the most transparent coach. I mean, I give people everything on the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like tell me not.
You absolutely do.
We're gonna revolutionize calisthenics, man. We're gonna
100%,
completely,
man. I'm here for it.
like,
We'll be working together for ages, man.
dude, for ages, man. I can't imagine 5 years from now where we're gonna be, man. We have to meet up this summer. If it, like, we got to
Yeah,
make something happen. You know what I mean?
100%, dude.
And so, leading into my next question, Joshua, we've been working together for roughly 10 months now.
Yeah.
Did you expect to achieve the skills and the results that you were hoping to achieve? And then also touch upon some of the what you thought you were going to get out of the coaching, right? Versus what you
Mm.
got. Kind of talk about that.
I did not expect to be where I was at this quickly. Like, hell no. It was a dream to me. And like dreams, they're like a huge dream that felt so far out of reach. But you know, here we are. And I just kept being consistent with my training and kept surprising myself every few sessions. Like, yeah, I actually did that. I held that. Or I did that, whatever. And I was like, wow, it's okay. Progress is ramping up. You know, I'm gonna continue this. I just kept getting more and more exciting every session I went to because I knew like I was gonna hit something soon again, a new milestone. And I did. I just kept hitting them so quickly because calisthenics at that time was still quite new to me. I didn't know about many other people doing it and their stories and their views on it. So I thought it was normal the rate I was going, to be honest. But looking at it now, it's like it can be normal. It's just not many people believe it or think they can do it because of how gate-kept it is. But yeah, I did not expect to be where I was at in 10 months. There's absolutely no way. Like, but less than a year from now, I'll be doing multis press. I can guarantee you guys. And
100%.
yeah, the best part is like anyone, I'm not special. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. You can do it. Like, seriously.
That's awesome, man. And you said something there that's like, if we talk about calisthenics, right, and it's like this pyramid, right? So you have like getting your skills, becoming stronger session to session. Like, the thing that all of this sits on is, do you believe that you can actually achieve what you're trying to go for? Or are you constantly telling yourself that it's out of your reach? All the actions you take after that thought will reflect that thought. And since you weren't really aware of how long it should take you, you didn't have this frame that you were already boxed into, right? You
Yeah.
weren't shoved into this box and told, hey, planche is going to take you 5 years. Don't even think about any dynamic planche work, you know, for another 10 years, right? Like, you were
Yeah.
never thrown into that mindset. It was always from the get-go, straddle front lever, full front lever. We got full front lever. Let's get full front lever press. Okay, we got press. Let's start touch. Let's start pull up, right? It's like, we keep going. Same thing with planche. Like, first goal was handstand push-up. All right, we got the rep. Let's go to planche now. Straddle planche. How do we figure out banded straddle? We got straddle. Full. We got full. Let's do push-ups. Let's do presses, you know? And so for me too, sometimes I was like, I was like, fuck, maybe I gotta slow him down. But I was like, no, like, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going, because there's no point of sitting there and telling yourself these negative things and placing these time frames on things. Like, in my opinion, let's not even worry about the time frames. Let's just believe it's possible and just go and just execute, you know?
Yeah.
So that's an amazing point you brought up.
No, I was just thinking session by session. I wasn't thinking, shit, I want to get this in the next month. That's my goal. Like, I was just like, every session I was going to, I was dialed in. Not that I was like, it was 100% intensity. I was focused, you know? And yeah, I was just focused on that session, and then onto the next, onto the next, onto the next. And then you'll get it. You'll absolutely get it, what you're working on.
I think that's a big thing too, is being able to bring that level of focus, right? You said dialed in, not like just pushing yourself, but just being so present in every set you do. Because let's just say arbitrarily, if you're give 100% focus in every set, it gives you a 1% increase in your performance. Okay, but if you compound that over hundreds of trainings, you could have just shaved off, 6 to 12 months off your rate of progression, right? That would have taken you extra time to unlock whatever milestone it was. And that's something I can tell you do really well, because whenever I give you new information to apply into your training, you apply it extremely fast. And this is usually a very good sign that you're showing up to your trainings with really strong focus. Because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of people that it takes them weeks to months to apply the information. But yeah, Joshua, so leading into my next question here, with such an insane transformation, and with someone like me who's posting it everywhere, there's a lot of eyes on it. And with a lot of eyes, we know what happens. We get people who love it, and then we get the controversy, people calling it fake, people calling me a guru, trying to sell them some program, and just lying about the results. And my question to you, Joshua, is what do you have to say to these people?
Yeah, man. One thing, man, it's like, I'm not going to be the first. You guys can stay mad and keep watching, because there's going to be more people like me, more crazy transformations. It's just a matter of time. We're going to change how people view this sport 100%, man. And yeah, I'm not going to be the first. Like I said, I'm not special. Anyone can do what I've done. It's just a certain degree of focus and discipline, and you can get it. Anyone can do it.
Yes, my friend. It's, the sport is not reserved for superhumans or genetically elite, right? If we were to just look 10 months ago at you, right? We could say you're like 99% of people that train calisthenics right now. You were trying to learn the handstand push-up. You were doing pike push-ups, doing handstands. Like a lot of people are at this level. Yeah. But when it comes to bridging that gap from like this beginner stage, intermediate, right, of handstands, pike push-ups, to like full planche push-ups, full front lever pull-ups, that bridge it's not as long as people think. You know what I mean? I think people like we just discussed about the mentality side of things, people are too afraid to believe that it's possible. Because if you believe that type of progress is possible, it's going to make you feel really bad about yourself and how fast you've been progressing, right? Because like, if I've been stuck trying to learn the handstand push-up for a year, and then some Joe Schmo on the internet saying you can learn full planche push-up in 10 months, right? Of course I'm going to hate, because it's like, why are you saying that bullshit? Because I'm speaking from my perspective, how I view my training. If people were to just be able to remove that negative emotion, that bias that they have about their own training, and just put themselves in your shoes, I don't think people would hate. This controversy just comes from a lack of understanding, or a lack of trying to be open-minded.
100%, man. And one thing, like, no matter how good I get as a coach or an athlete, I'm gonna be humble. Like, these people getting mad or it's just unbelievable to them, which I understand. Don't sit there and like be grouchy about it. Why don't you go and ask that person or that coach, like, damn, how'd you do that? Like, can you give me some tips? Like, rather than just complaining about it, why don't you, because it's real. Like I said, I'm not gonna be the first. Why don't you join and just ask and gather information for yourself, rather than sitting there on your phone like, damn, this guy's bullshit. He's just trying to get your money. You know what I mean?
This is my kind of theory, because I'm not the strongest athlete in the sport, right? There's people who are beyond better than me. In fact, some of the people that were critiquing this are 10 times stronger than me, saying, why are you spreading misinformation? And it kind of hurt, because it's like you're a really, really advanced athlete, instead of just looking at everything at like surface level. I encourage anyone who's doubting Joshua's progress and kind of what he's accomplished, like, please, I encourage you, reach out, talk to him, talk to me. I would love to walk you through my exact thought process and kind of Joshua's thought process and how we were
Yeah.
able to combine our brains to achieve such a result.
Mm.
We have nothing to hide. In fact, I think more people should examine what you've done and learn from it and apply it to themselves, because I think through that application you'll be able to prove to yourself that, wow, this is actually real.
Absolutely.
Kind of where I was going with that original point of like, I'm not the strongest, but yet I'm producing results that some of the strongest athletes cannot produce themselves. I think there's maybe an ego thing there of like, this guy's way weaker than me, but how is he teaching people skills better than me?
100%, man. 100%.
Which I totally understand. You know what I mean? It's a very valid emotion to feel, but to act on that emotion without first talking to the individual, I think that's the problem.
Yeah. Absolutely correct, man.
Over these last 10 months, Joshua, I want you to think about everything that you've learned on your own, working with me, and summarize it into one valuable piece of information that you would give the audience to help them out on their calisthenics journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's quite a big thing is it's really easy to show up to a training, get the training done and say, yeah, I did it. I'm disciplined, you know what I mean? But that's not all there is to training. I think one thing that helped me progress really quick is I took my recovery very seriously as well. So I'm making sure I'm sleeping great and eating great. Like, I think people forget about that. They show up to their training, but then, they're not eating the best stuff that their body needs, and they're losing sleep, and they got other bad habits stacking on each other. Training is I don't know, not even less than 50% of your progress. The rest of your progress comes from the external things like your sleep and what you're eating. And you need to get that in check, and that will boost not just your training, but so many aspects of your life as well. So yeah, don't slacken your sleep and eating and habits. I think that's one of the things that helped me a lot as well.
100%, man, because bad sleep is going to mess with your hormones. You're not going to recover well because your protein synthesis rates just plummeted. You're going to feel more anxious, which means worser mindset. And so it just has this compounding effect where like you get bad sleep, bad training, bad mood, right? And then also like the bad eating can also mess with things. So yeah, more than just the training, like people focus too much on like one thing. But I think the only way we were able to achieve such a big result is because on your end, you were so disciplined with your recovery, with your eating, right? And then on the training end, we also had that dialed in. So everything kind of came together and was able to influence such a great rate of progression.
100%. Just a side note as well, like coaching is a two-way street. You don't just get a coach and magically you're going to be better. You're working with someone, so you need to be honest with them and tell them what's going on and show up to whatever it is you're trying to do. Think of a coach as you're the car and the coach is the driver. You can't steer a parked car, if that makes sense. So get moving. You don't just get a coach and you're magically better.
That's a great way to put it.
I've
Yeah.
met people who think that, I paid all this money, Josh, and nothing's happened. Like, what have you been doing? You're not driving, man.
The coach or the mentor can give you the map, right? The roadmap. But to actually take the steps to travel through that map, that's on you, right? Ultimately. Because like you said, like I can give you the map, but if you don't actually pick it up, use it, and follow the path that you need to, it's useless. Yeah, coach is not it's not a superpower, I mean, I feel like you can tell the audience, like, I always ask you, like, Josh, how do you feel after this workout? We feeling good? Okay, let's do this. And so basically, like, we're working together as a team to figure out the best plan for you, I think people are too caught up in like the perfect system, right? The perfect method. I think we can both agree though that there's no perfect method, right? There's no one size fits all. That's one thing you're gonna love about being a coach is it's like a puzzle. Each person is a new puzzle that you have to solve because everyone's so different, and also everyone has such different goals. So it's like, okay, how do I take this person and kind of what they're working with and get them to where they want to be, because that approach is not going to be the same for someone else. The way I coach you and the daily workouts that I write you are so much different than someone else. And that's so beautiful to me because all these different individuals are progressing so fast and all of their trainings look so different. That's like the nerdy part of me likes that.
Yeah, nah, it's gonna be so rewarding, man. I can't wait to see it with my own eyes.
Talking about more like long-term stuff, I know you want to be a coach, You want to be a big name in the space, which we all know you will be.
Mm.
But kind of more than that, 1 year from now, what does Joshua look like? What is he doing? What has he achieved? Kind of talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, man, 100%. 1 year from now, I'm gonna be full-time coach. I'm so passionate about this. And it's not just the sport. It's like what happens when you get disciplined with something. There's so many more benefits to training that I've discovered. It affects your whole life. You get this discipline that you can apply to other aspects of your life. You feel fit and healthy and strong. You know what I mean? All that stuff is what makes me love this sport. It's just so rewarding. A year from now, I'm going to be helping people achieve that. Like people who are stuck like me, who are serious about it, that just needed direction and a clear framework to help them get there. And yeah, that's one thing I'm sure of, but I know there's going to be so many crazy things that I can't even imagine yet that's going to happen as well. With my own training as well. But not just my training, but in the calisthenics community, there's going to be all these crazy things happening. You guys have to wait and see for that.
Yeah, calisthenics is only growing, man. So, 1 year from now, I can only imagine what the sport's going to look like 5 years from now. It's just going to be so fun. I would still say the sport's relatively small, right? What do you think?
Oh, 100%, dude. It is. I do see it growing right now, 100%. But that's so exciting. That is honestly so exciting. I've just moved, guys, and I've got this little gym near me. It's an outdoor gym. And so I'm seeing new faces. And some of them have never seen anything what I'm doing. I'm still like, I'm not the strongest athlete at all. I've got so much work to do. They see some things I'm doing. They're like, what the hell? What is that? Like, tell me about that. Like, yeah, it's called calisthenics, man. You should do it. And then they're like, yeah, man, I want to try. And they go on my parallettes trying to do a tuck planche. I'm like, but it makes me so, because they're so like wide open eyes. They're like, that's so cool, man. That's exactly how I was when I started. So yeah, it's an exciting time for calisthenics, I think.
100%, man. And having people like you that are going to lead the next wave of calisthenics enjoyers is going to be awesome, man, because they're not going to have to go through the bullshit that me and you had to go through. My goal ultimately with all of my students is to make all of them super well educated and well versed in calisthenics and strength literature so that they can go and coach others and help others. Like we need to revolutionize the sport, because for too long it's been gatekept. Most of the free information out there is really contradictory and quite frankly surface level. And so it's our job as people with a platform to speak to switch that, right? To fix that.
Yeah, 100%.
The future's bright, man. Future's bright.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Joshua, I want to thank you so much for your time, sharing everything that you have with the audience. I'm sure a lot of people will get a lot of value from this and kind of the topics we talked about, as well as the advice that you've given, because I could not agree more with everything that you've said. I will link Joshua's Instagram, his YouTube, all his socials, whatever he has, it'll be linked in the description below. Go check him out. He is a beast. And he will be the next biggest calisthenics coach in the space, guys. So stay tuned. He's gonna be dropping some bangers very soon.
Thank you so much, Anton. Yeah, guys, check my stuff out. I will be posting a lot soon. Like I'll be honest, I'm very new to like social media and stuff, so I haven't been posting, but fixing that. And I'm gonna get you guys some good stuff. And yeah, keep watching, guys. Like follow up with us and ask us questions. And I want to share one thing I say to myself. Actually, it's from my dad. Shout out my dad. One thing I go into every training is I tell myself, this is easy, this is simple, this is fun all the time. And because I think we make calisthenics seem so much harder than it is. Just keep telling yourself it's way easier than you think. Seriously, it's not this mystical sport. So yeah, guys, get out there and get training.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Joshua.
Thank you, my friend. See you soon.
I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Joshua. I could not be more proud of him. The way he carries himself, his mindset, and just his all-around positive attitude makes him such a great person to work with each and every single day, and has been a pleasure to watch his progression over the last 10 months. Make sure you guys go drop him a follow on Instagram. I'll be linking all of his socials in the description below. Also, if you haven't already, feel free to join my calisthenics Discord community. We're almost at 3,000 members. It's a great place to ask questions, get feedback on your training, and talk to other advanced athletes like myself. If you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel for more informational calisthenics content. It's an absolute blessing, and I am so grateful to have the team that I have. Watching everyone achieve milestones that they thought would take them years, and seeing the pure joy that comes from that is the best feeling in the world. The family is only continuing to grow, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds. If you've made it to this part of the video and have resonated with some of the things that me and Joshua discussed, then I do offer one-on-one personalized coaching. This is something that I do full-time and take extremely seriously. Using the link below, you can fill out an application, which will then be reviewed by my team and myself to determine if you'd be a good fit for the team. Please note that this is only for people who are truly passionate about calisthenics and are adamant on achieving their goals. Whether you're trying to learn a skill like the handstand push-up, planche, full planche push-ups, front lever, any skill in calisthenics, whatever skill it might be, I can teach you it. If that sounds like you, then go to the description below, fill out the application form, and my team and I will get back to you shortly. Thank you guys so much for all the support recently. I love all of you, and I cannot wait to continue revolutionizing calisthenics.